just like Rose alluded to, this is a town that our children will inherit someday. And I got to tell you, I love Salinas, California. Who here likes to live, work in, or visit Salinas? Yeah! It's a good town. Now, why do we like Salinas? Let me ask people here. If anybody's got an idea for why they like Salinas, raise your hand and share something. Why do you like Salinas? There's no ice storms. If you've lived on the East Coast, you know that. Somebody yelled out the people, Lou Cervantes. You bet. John, why do you love Salinas?
Good old down home.
It's a good, down-home kind of place to live. That captures it. Dave Clark?
Great neighborhood watch programs going on.
Neighborhood watch programs. Just like Dave and I are organized. Right on. Mike Parrish?
I like the small-town atmosphere.
Small-town atmosphere. You bet. And how about the agriculture, Mom?
The best produce in the world.
The best produce in the world! I like a good salad, and I inherited that from my mother. You know, recently, as part of building a neighborhood association here on the South Side, I actually spoke with some of my neighbors. Why do they love Salinas? We went around and around and around. Small town, diverse community, the proximity to agriculture. There's nothing like going for a run or a walk in the morning and seeing the sprinklers irrigating cauliflower or broccoli. Or looking right across the street at what looks like broccoli. How cool is that, being so close to your food? There's just something amazing about it. And I'll tell you, I have unstoppable enthusiasm for this town. And that's, well, for those of you that have known me a good portion of my life, Mom, Dad, that enthusiasm is pretty strong. And I don't want to pull a Tony Robbins, though I'm into that, you know, personal development and whatever else. I would say personality is important. Some of you may not even know much about what the City Council does, or who's on the City Council, or even the intricacies of the challenges that the city faces. But for those of you that know me well enough, know that I have a personality that's enthusiastic, can-do, and creative. Beyond that, I work well with people. And believe it or not, I actually like this stuff. At the end of the day, I believe my personality being enthusiastic and collaborative lends myself to be a good candidate. The other thing that's important is experience. And for the last 10 years or so, I've served on 4 different boards, commissions, or committees for the City of Salinas. Starting out with the Police Community Advisory Committee, going on to the Traffic and Transportation Commission, going on to the Planning Commission, and then finally the Design Review Board. And if you can sit through enough of these meetings and actually get excited about it, and the process, then that's pretty good. But the experience, the tough questions, the decisions that even at the commission level that somebody has to make about how we want to shape our community. Those kinds of experiences, and also the experiences of owning and operating a business. It's raining out, sales aren't what they should be, or it's a recession, we have to respond. Those kinds of things lend themselves to being a good leader. And when it comes down to community, well, obviously, as Dave alluded to, I'm involved in a neighborhood association, building a neighborhood association locally, and other things that I've been involved in starting, the Central Coast Young Farmers and Ranchers, ultimately the largest young farmers and ranchers organization in the nation, the Monterey County Young Professionals Group. Heck, when I came in there, there was about 300 people in our database. We're over 700 now. Now, granted, obviously, I didn't do all of this myself, but I'm a part of the team, enthusiastically, creatively, working collaboratively to build things. So when people ask why I'm doing this, I love the democratic process. Maybe it was my best friend and his dad, who was mayor of Cupertino. My parents, they've always done well and done right and been a part of their lives. Balancing a budget, economic interest. I got to tell you, I couldn't be more convinced right now there's such a need in Salinas for leadership, and I'm ready to be a part of that. So let's talk about my platform. Well, when it comes to public safety, if you talk to any of the cops out there, they'll say it's nice to have more cops, but they'd rather have more eyes and ears on the street. And just as Dave's Neighborhood Watch has done, and the Neighborhood Watch is starting to do in our little area, which is 1,000 homes, if you can empower people through a neighborhood association to meet their neighbor, that's half the battle. Through our neighborhood association, I'm sitting in there in a meeting, and there's a neighbor living across from another neighbor, 10 years, and all they know about that neighbor is, oh, you drive the Dodge Durango. Are you kidding me? That's the kind of community that we're facing right now. Once you get beyond that, and you know who it is, well, if the Dodge Durango is broken into, you might actually call Phyllis up and say, is your cat okay? I hope so, because your Durango has a busted window. You know, whatever it be. I think that's important. When it comes to the city of Salinas, there was a Blue Ribbon Commission put together by business in the last couple of months. That commission put together very specific remarks with regards to what the city's going to need to do to balance its $12 million deficit on an $80 million budget. So I'm ready to say yes to the Blue Ribbon Commission. Some other council members are not as enthusiastic, and for a variety of reasons. We're talking about taking 11 director positions in a city and reducing it to 4. Not harming the service level, but reducing the amount of bureaucracy. Beyond that, incentivizing growth, bringing businesses to town. For the most part, if you talk to anybody that owns a business or has operated a business, or even tried to add another room onto their house, they don't have very enthusiastic things to say about the city of Salinas. Something's wrong when it comes to the culture of a place that's all about standing in the way rather than working with business. I hope to impact that in a positive way.